Hi, in this video I will show you a little bit about needle felting in amigurumis. One of the details that usually gives life to amigurumis in my very special case is that I use needle felting for these small details like this whooper, or like when I make like an Animal Crossing plushie like this tank. All these are needle felted. Needle felting is using this type of needles that has, like, you can see little dents around the needle, and using usually wool. I don't use wool because I don't really like it. What I use is acrylic yarn that has been brushed with a metallic brush like this one, like a pet brush. And then with this fluff wool, you will use your needle felt needle to stab the amigurumi and make these figures into the plushie. So let me show you. Here I have another whooper. This one doesn't have the pattern on his belly yet. I will be using this is a handle for the needle, and here is my felt. I just grab like a little bit of the wool felt, and with the needle I will just stab in the places where I want the new color to be. And you can think of it like as if you were doing like using the drawing, the paint app in the old computers, when you have to paint like every pixel. I think of needle felting kind of like that, because you have to keep stabbing the point where you want the color. And as you can see, that little fluff became like this. It became a long line. Then grab a little bit more, and you can draw now the other lines. The more you needle felt, the more it gets stuck into the yarn. If you needle felt it too little, it will be like you can just grab it and tear it off really easy. So try to make it like a stiff. Also be careful when needle felting, because you can stab your finger and it really hurts, so be careful with that. The other thing would be patient, because needle felting takes a lot of time. So yeah, you have to be quite patient with this. It is not like you can get it really done too quickly. Simple things like this one maybe take you around 3 to 5 minutes. When you are doing some bigger, complicated drawings, like the Animal Crossing plushie I showed you before, can take you half an hour to 1 hour sometimes. One important thing when needle felting is to keep the needle straight. While you're stabbing the plushie, you want the needle to go straight, because if you move it while you are stabbing, you can snap the needle really easy, and you don't want that because they can be expensive if you get good ones. If you get like the cheap ones, you get a lot of them, but they're not good. It takes like twice longer just to make the same figure into the plushie. So make sure to be good to your needles, because you want them to be longer with you. And then you have the drawing for his belly. Now this one looks a little bit better. We have the acrylic yarn that it is brushed. For this whooper, I will be making like a little heart shape. As always, I just grab a little bit of the yarn. When making figures like this one, I like to first make like a rough, like making a line of the figure I want, so I can see about where it will be going. And then instead of going in the inside, I always try to delineate while moving the needle, so it will grab the felt around, and it gives like a little bit more volume and gets a little less messier, because it is like wool felt. It looks a little bit like hairy. After you get the main shape, you can start moving in between, just to make sure you flatten all the figure. And we have now the shape. If you keep stabbing like one point, that will get like inside of the plushie. So you can see that now you can see a little bit better the heart shape. It doesn't look too circle. Needle felting also can be done with felt pieces. You can cut the piece of felt sheet, and then instead of gluing or using embroidery thread to sew it into the plushie, you can needle felt on top of the felt piece, and it will get stuck just like this into the amigurumi. The only thing is that if you start from the middle, the felt will shrink because it goes inside. So when you are using felt pieces like that you cut, I suggest that you make sure first secure the outer part of that felt, so it won't get like shrunk while you are working. Also, one of the biggest and important things when it comes to needle felting in amigurumi, the material of the actual plushie is really important. Some people don't like working with acrylic yarn. I know many that prefer using cotton yarn or other material because it has a neater look, or they said that they don't like how it feels in their hands, when they are working with acrylic yarn yarn, but the thing is that cotton is not good when it comes to needle felting because of the type of fabric of the cotton. You can really push the felt and the wool into the plushie. You can do it, I have done it before, but I snapped 3 of my needles just by doing something really simple. It was something maybe this size, and I snapped like 3 of my needles and it wasn't worth it. So I prefer to stick to acrylic yarn. And here you can see. This is just a small video where I show how to make like a small details, what I usually take into account when I am making them. Hope you like and enjoy this video. Bye!